Shortly after George got involved in the project and got attached to direct the film, he was kind enough to give me a call, which surprised me, but really pleased me. And we had a long conversation about the book, and I was really heartened. It was very obvious talking to him on the phone that he not only had read the book, but that he really got it. He got the spirit of the book. He understood what the heart of the story was. And in fact, he talked about it in personal terms. He grew up quite poor in Kentucky. And so that helped him identify with this sort of ragtag bunch of kids that are at the heart of the story of the boys in the boat. And so he elaborated on how he personally felt connected to Joe Rance, who was the principal character in the story, and the hardship that Joe went through as a young man and as a boy. These young men had essentially no rowing experience. To get where they wound up winning the Olympics, they had to row against their very good rivals at Cal Berkeley. But then they had to row against kids from the East Coast, kids who had almost grown up with oars in their hands, kids who'd gone to prep schools and had learned to row as adolescents or children even. These guys had no experience like that at all. The first time they climbed into a racing shell was in the 1930s when they joined the crew program. So it's all more remarkable. And then they had to go on and defeat the British crew in Berlin. And again, you're talking about young men from Oxford and Cambridge who had gone to private, or what they call public schools in the UK and learned to row there. So all the way through their rowing careers, they were rowing against higher and harder levels of competition until they finally rowed against a Nazi crew in Germany. This is a classic underdog story. In many ways, it reminds me of Seabiscuit, Laura Hillenbrand's book, which of course was this ragtag little horse that then nobody thought could win. The whole generation of Americans sort of fixated on Seabiscuit because that horse represented them in many ways. I think these 9 young men in the boat, in a very similar way, galvanized the attention of the nation because people felt they could identify with them. These were young working class men. They were the sons of farmers and fishermen and loggers. There was nothing pretentious about them. They were having a hard time making a way in the world. So it was easy, I think, during the Depression for Americans to see them as representative of themselves.